Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Joyriding. I'm Scott, and today I want to show you my beautiful 1956 Chevrolet Bel Air. Thanks to a booming post-war economy and improving road infrastructure, more people than ever were going down to their local car dealerships to become first-time owners throughout the 1950s. This propelled General Motors to become the most valuable corporation in the world at the time. Of course, a title they no longer hold today. But if you went down to your local Chevy dealership, you would more than likely see a Bel Air. For 56, it was the highest trim level over the 210 and the 150. The Bel Air got you this beautiful side trim, a more luxurious interior, two-tone paint like this Nassau blue and ivory, and most importantly, the option for a V8, which this car has. The 265 has what's commonly referred to as a power pack. Has the 4-barrel carburetor, a heavy-duty clutch, and dual exhausts. One more thing I want to touch on is the previous owner wanted to do a faithful restoration. So not only did that entail returning the paint to its original color, but he went through the painstaking process of finding original lacquer paint to do this job. And I just have to say it's one of my favorite things about the car, and it's just so eye-catching. It's absolutely stunning. But enough about the looks. Why don't we take it for a ride? Here we go for a ride through the beautiful Carolina countryside. Of course, this is a 3 on the tree. Actually, the first time I'd ever driven a 3 on the tree was when I drove this away from the place we bought it at. A little bit of a nerve-wracking experience. But my dad explained you just take a 4-speed, turn it 90 degrees so that you're coming towards you and away from you, as opposed to left and right, and it became quite easy. Now this tape is on the top of the center of the wheel. That is to indicate just how much wheel I'm putting into it and how much it wanders, but also it's got to add at least 10 horsepower to this baby. This, of course, also has no power steering or power brakes. If you want a night out on the town and you're going to parallel park it, bring one buddy to spot you and another to help you tug on the wheel. It's also in need of a little bit of an alignment. I used to think that the reason you'd see these cars on the road driving slow was indicative of the age of the driver as opposed to the age of the car. And of course, I now understand I had it backwards the whole time. This is not your everyday corner carver like a Z28 or a Corvette. The narrow tires, and this thing has a lot of body roll. I'm not sure if you can hear the tires chattering, but I certainly can. But to me, that's what adds to the fun of the experience. It doesn't drive like the cars of today. You know, supercars, and we'll get to a few here shortly on this channel, they're made to tackle the Nürburgring and Le Mans and other tracks around the world. They're so capable that a back road like this would be such an easy task for a car tuned to those capabilities. That's just not fun. It's not a chore. It's not particularly giving any character about its driving experience. It's really made for the track. And I love the saying, it's more fun to drive an old car fast, more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. And I think this 56 Chevy certainly applies. And that's one of the draws for me. I don't have a memory of growing up in the backseat of this car. My dad didn't have one of these growing up. My buddies certainly didn't take this to prom. So I don't really have a nostalgic connection to this vehicle other than an appreciation for its design. That's why for me, the driving experience is a huge chunk of why you would want to own one of these. that, the experience you get when others recognize your car, young and old alike, it's fun to see people give you a thumbs up whether they know about the car or not. Another aspect is the price. Now, you might expect a Chevy like this to be expensive, and if it were a two-door, it would be. Now, Chevy had the two-door post, the two-door hardtop, the four-door hardtop, and the four-door post, which of course this car is, and it's kind of seen at the bottom of the pecking order. And if you're one of those diehards I see on Facebook and the forums and elsewhere, you might think that, oh, it's a four-door car, you know, it's not really real. Why would anyone want one of those? Well, for me, who grew up knowing nothing about this, I don't really have that learned opinion. Four doors work just fine for me. You know, in some cases, you put your grandkids in the back, put your kids in the back. In my case, put your friends in the back. And I think this thing's a little bit too old for Uber. Otherwise, you could put some strangers in the back. But I think that added functionality for me is a value add as opposed to a detractor. Now also, depending on the quality of the restoration, a two-door example could fetch 10 to 15, even thousand, sometimes even more than its four-door counterpart. The price is somewhat surprising. If you're interested in this car, look on Facebook. There are a bunch of Facebook groups where you can find them. Craigslist, of course, maybe even Bring a Trailer or eBay, and you might be surprised at the price. I was Googling new car prices in 2023, and this is cheaper than just about every one of them. That allows for someone like me to be able to afford this as a fun secondary car. And no, of course, it's not as reliable as a base Camry or a Mini Cooper or whatever. That's going to get you from point A to point B efficiently, effectively, and reliably. But you're not going to have near as much fun in one of those as you would one of these. So be on the lookout for some more videos. We're going to do some ride-in drives, maybe come to a cruise-in near you, maybe do a couple things to this already gorgeous 56 Chevy. Thank you for coming to Joyriding. We hope to see you on a video soon.